Yeah, this is coffee. I wrote this all down. This all happened a couple of years ago. Yeah, I don't know how to start really. I went to church. I went to church and I had a vision. So just to give you a little background on that, though, is that I don't know, 30 years ago. Yeah, probably like 30 years ago, I started reading the Bible, and I read the whole Bible and more than once. I read it a bunch of times, and I learned I learned a certain way of thinking about what's in it, and it was contradictory to all the churches that I was familiar with, um, except for Seventh-day Adventist Church. They concurred, with the things that I felt, and they taught me a lot. And so I always felt kind of like superior to these guys. These guys meaning all other churches. And that went on for 25 years or 30 years, a long time. Within the last couple of years, I had this vision. And one other story was I kind of helped to destroy a particular church because I'm so arrogant, or I was. And that's life, that's my opinion. So anyways, I went to this church. My wife is a member there, fairly new member there, and I was not a member, but I'd been there several times, I think. But anyways, I was watching the choir sing, and I smelled like the sweet aroma coming down around the pews. And that's just kind of unusual. I actually even looked up at the air conditioner or something to see if they were putting something in the room or what, but there wasn't anything that I could perceive. So at any rate, I kind of went into a trance in a way. I was just looking at the choir singing, and then everything turned black and white. There was no more color in the room, or while I'm looking forward, except for these singers. They were dressed like in red, singing religious garments, and I thought that was kind of odd, But anyways, then I began to like back up into an aerial view of sort of like the whole earth. I can still see them singing though. It's a beautiful song, and then the ground came apart. The ground was coming apart, and they were not disturbed in their song or countenance or anything. I could see buildings, I could see windows in the buildings, I could see some cracks. It wasn't really an earthquake though. And people came up out of the ground just like the Bible teaches, spirits came up out of the ground and were going up into the air. And I'm going, this is like a vision of the second coming of Jesus Christ, when all the dead in Christ shall rise first, and then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. There you go. But the fact is, I sensed a voice, okay? It wasn't like someone was talking in my ear. It was like I was perceiving that someone was talking in my ear without hearing them. And not very many words. Just said, these are my people. And what that meant to me afterwards, because I could see everybody again. And I believe this, I believe that God or one of God's angels was telling me, those are my people, Paul. And because I have a tendency to kind of like judge people a lot, especially Christians and their beliefs. So I realized that these people in this church are chosen people. And it really did change my life, because that's just my little tiny experience, man. That's why I think there's a lot of Muslims that are heartfelt people that will be forgiven of their sins and whatever things happen on this earth in the next few years. Along with me, I pray. And people that don't know God. There's a lot of people out there that are going to be pleasantly surprised, I think. And it was kind of a warning to me, too, to treat those people with kid gloves, even though you think they're on their way to receive the mark of the beast. That's my thoughts, my process of thinking, and that's not the way it's going to go down. So I have a different point of view after having that vision, so to speak, and I've had several others, visions that is, and I've had several dreams. If you ever read the book of Joel, Joel, within the Bible, he talks about young men having visions and old men dreaming dreams. Well, I'm not young, and I'm not that old. I'm only like 90, but I'm not old yet. I'm really not 90. So maybe I'm sort of in between where I'm having both vision and dream. I don't know. And I'm not alone. If you really talk around to people, you'll find out a lot of other people have had similar situations. The only thing I can tell you is that the devil has imitations of that too. So what I hold on to is in Isaiah. You can look it up if you want. It's to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in them. And that verse is basically saying that if it goes against the laws of God, or if it goes against the testimony, which is the life of Jesus Christ, you find a lot of contradiction in there. It's most likely a false prophet. So I look at the vision that way. You know, I take it for what it's worth. It happened. There's nothing I could do about it, but I trust it at this point in my life. And I wanted to let you know because it is relevant to the topic on this website page. And I actually have it written down and was entitled My First Vision in a different link. So if you're in YouTube or something, you want to check it out, it's angrydude.com, or it's allopinionsmatter.com, or it's voting-america.com. The first one I jacked up, it's angrydude.net. Okay, thanks a lot. That's all. Bye.